Welcome back to the... I almost said gaming uphill both ways. Welcome back to the Enemies of the Fire podcast. I am FC Neo Tokyo. I almost said the wrong name. That is DPG, and as you can tell, Serena is not here. She is in Germany or in the sky. Who knows? I don't know. She was at so I originally thought she was going to the Bayer Leverkusen game, but she was at like a Hertha Berlin game, which I don't know actually, let me find out if that's who they played. While DPG, you tell us how you been.
Let's see. It's busy, man. You know, life, busy with life. The only time I get a breather is when I'm sleeping.
Yeah, dude can't even get his camera on. He is so busy. God, really?
Like this. Well, the setup I had last year. So what ended up happening was that the wife and I, we ended up cleaning the basement, and we ended up turning it into a kids play area. So all my stuff's like my table and everything is like on to one side of the room with a bunch of stuff on top of it. So I gotta kind of organize and get my spot back again.
You gotta reclaim your space, brother. And speaking of reclaiming something, we'll just get right into it. Baby, the Chicago Fire won this weekend. 3-0 against Club Day Foot Fetish Montreal. Dude.
Yep. For any of you guys that were out there at the game, that is dedication, because it was cold and it was windy and the weather was like an old man trying to return soup at a deli. That's how bad it was. It was, it was brutal.
It was pretty brutal, dude. I gotta tell you, I did my best, man. I was cold. I did my best, but I will say, before we talk anything about the game itself, I unfortunately did not meet up with you, because yeah, so you don't get there early enough to kick it and party, and you don't necessarily party.
Well,
so
surprisingly, I actually got there like an hour and a half before kickoff.
Why didn't you come to the tailgate?
I park in the north gate, you know. So and I was there with my son, so I got there before they even opened what used to be the support the season ticket holder entrance on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
So as soon as they opened at 12, I pretty much just kind of beelined it to the store to pick up the New Jersey, which I did, by the way.
You bought a new kit, the red one?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, it's got a collar. That's so funny. You bought something. I bought I apologize. I don't even know what part of the organization, which supporters group I actually bought it from, but I bought a new scarf. It's awesome. I love it. And
what does it say? What does it say on it?
It says, I didn't know what it said on the back until after I bought it, and it's kind of bullshit because I don't go nowhere. But it says, for the Fire, we will travel anywhere.
Oh man, what is that? It sounds like one of the old Section 8 scarves, man.
It is. That's exactly where I was at the Section 8 tailgate, which I saw so many people I hadn't seen since either like the like locker room sale or like since last season. It was so nice seeing everybody. Everybody's like doing good and was in a good mood. Like, it was I saw everybody except for Serena and Andrew because they're in Germany.
So I don't see a lot of people, especially the guys like from the Fire Discord chat. And the thing is, one time I wore my white Fire kit that had DPG 86 in the back, and someone actually stopped and said hello and everything. They're like, "Oh my god, hey, you're DPG, right? I'm like, yeah. And the guy's like, I think it was Mike McGee's #1 fan, the
Oh,
former LA Galaxy, which, by the way,
wait, that's
nice
who
guy
that.
too.
Wait, that's who that is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, here's the thing. I don't know none of these people's handles, so I don't know who I'm talking to.
Yeah, so one of the guys, yeah, that was the guy. That was one of the guys. He was cool too. Like as much I give him crap about being an LA Galaxy fan, he was cool.
Okay, hold on. His Hispanic cat or tall white guy, older white guy?
It was like man, you know what, man? I want to say he was white dude. I wouldn't say he was
Okay,
an older guy. He probably around our age. Which I don't think that
dude.
constitutes as
Whoa.
being old.
Okay. This is I my mind is blown. The show is completely off the rails. My mind is blown. But
Well, here's the thing: is that you gotta kind of advertise yourself, and then you'll have people coming up to you. Like if you had a jersey that
well,
said FC Neo Tokyo on the back, someone that listens to the podcast will come up to me like, "Hey, I listened to your show, blah blah blah."
I did talk to a few people that listen to the show. Also, actually, first chance I gotten to say this, I was wearing a fire hat the other day, and I went to return something at Kohl's for Amazon. The dude was like, "Hey, you a Fire fan?" I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Yeah, me too. I got tickets." Like, and then like the guy on the Lyft that drove me to the game on Saturday, yesterday, he his son played for the academy team. So like he knew
Nice.
all about the Fire. Yeah, it was wild. So it's like we're becoming more massive. Also, to your self-promotion point, next game, come find me. I'm really hard to find, but I'll have stickers for the show.
There you go. Well, here's one thing.
Quality is not verified yet.
Yeah. So here's one thing about wearing fire gear like in public is that I've actually wore like a fire t-shirt and I've actually had somebody tell me, "Oh my god, you watched the fire?" I'm like, "Yeah, I actually met a friend, just wearing that, and a lot of times like I'll wear a Cubs shirt, I'll wear a Bears shirt, but it's so common that I don't expect anybody to come up to me and start talking about the Cubs or the Bears.
Yeah, some
Um,
people just have a Cubs or Bears thing because their company
yeah,
had an outing at the game and they were like, well, screw it, I'll
yep,
buy something. Like
yeah. So and then likewise, if I see somebody rocking a fire jersey, like I did last year, I saw somebody rocking the old Crown logo jersey,
you know
and
you know those people are real, by the way.
yeah, and I'm like, dude, you got to get a new jersey, man. That logo's gone. Like, I know, man, I know, you know, but it's cool, It's always nice to see fire fans out in the wild.
It is it is. There's because it's just I don't know, man. It's like you talk to everybody at work, you talk to your family, you talk to everybody you like run into, your neighbors, and nobody gives a shit. And you're
Yeah,
like, I know there's people that give a shit. I run into them at the game, But
I
anyway,
I literally forced my brother to watch the fire highlights today at my
I
parents'
lo-
house.
I love it.
And
It's
the thing about it was
beautiful.
that he got up to go to the kitchen. I paused it, and then my dad starts teasing me like, "Hey, look, he paused it just for you."
Yes.
Um,
Oh my god. All right, DPG. Oh my god, my cat's gonna start yelling at us. So it's needless to say the excitement was there. Everybody was pretty jacked to be back and in the stadium, and there was this kind of tension. Like, okay, we got to get this first win of the year because we really screwed up that first game, and
yep.
Montreal is that terrible that we have to get this win. How did you feel like the game started?
So right off the bat, the Fire were far more aggressive. Like they were hungry for it, and especially if you saw the opening kickoff, the Fire could have gone up ahead 1-0. But the way, so one thing that kind of stood out to me is how defensive and I wouldn't even say defensive, but just how lackluster attacking performance Montreal had. Like there were times where Brady had the ball just on the floor for a minute, none of the Montreal attackers bothered to go up to him, which was surprising. Like
Well, they
that at
didn't want
that
to
point,
get
I
caught
realized
off because we
they didn't want to cut
we
off, but that to me seemed like they were just there for a draw. Like they were happy with a draw. You
they
know.
probably would have been happy with a draw, but it's wild to say, but like obviously like the first play of the game, Cuypers was pressing and got like an opportunity of sorts, right?
Yep.
So like literally we like our press, it's so funny, like when you say press these days, everybody just immediately thinks Red Bull. And like
Yep.
we press hard, but we don't do a Red Bull press. And I'm not articulate or smart enough to tell you the difference in words, but I know it when I see it. But in all seriousness, like that press is what gave them trouble. Like if you saw, I don't want to fast forward too far, but like in the 60th minute after that red card, it was almost like all the Montreal people, like players, looked at each other and was like, "This is fun! Oh my god, we have the ball!" So like, but to
Well,
your
I
point,
don't. Like I said, we don't want to get ahead because and
yeah,
I want
there's
to
a
get to
lot.
that point too. I want to get to that point. But like in the first half, like the Fire were going at it. They wanted to score. I don't even think Montreal had any shots in the first half. Um, and there was a lot of opportunities. Selassie had one. I think the best part of this Montreal team was the goalkeeper because that goalkeeper kept them in the
Oh,
game for as
he
long as he
did. It
could.
could have been. It could have been ugly early because, yeah, like you said, he kept them in that game. It made it a game. It really did.
You know, um, but the first goal comes, which was it wasn't an assist per se from Barroso. It was a cross that got deflected by the goalkeeper, which happened to nicely land in front of Bamba for the easy tap in on an
Yeah,
empty net.
with something that he needs, something we need, because
Yep.
yes, we're gonna all have this argument about Bamba. Do we have to see the actual stats? And I say no. I think it was so obvious, like how his decision making alone, let alone physically being in the right spots all the time. His decision making alone made this team so much better. To where I'm
Oh
glad he
yes.
can get some of these like tap ins and assists like that, because it's like so he can pad out some of those stats, because we need a Jonathan Bamba and we don't need
Yep.
to. Yeah, I really like what he brings to the table in all facets of this game. Like you know, it was beautiful. I mean, he hit it perfectly too. Like, because he
He,
could have skied it. It could have been
yeah.
ugly.
He could have, and that's what I like. That was our argument last year was that Bamba misses the easy shots, but for whatever reason, he makes the complicated ones.
You're right. I kind of
Um,
forgot. You're right. That's exactly what the
and
whole
And to be
situation
honest
was.
with you, I mean, this wasn't like the easiest shot to make,
No,
because he was in motion. He was in motion. Anybody could have like whiffed that or like let it pass by or whatever. But he put it nicely into the net. Um, and again, the thing about Bamba that makes him so unique is that he pulls away defenders from Zinkernagel. Uh,
most
he
certainly.
breaks he breaks ankles. Like I seen this man. I saw him turn around the Montreal defense multiple times. Uh,
Well, that
and
was
it's
that was Zink who hit Barroso on the overlapping run, right?
yep.
Okay,
Zings that
Zink.
him yeah. And again, any goalkeeper, and again, kudos to Montreal's goalkeeper because he went out there and tried to deflect it out the way.
I
Probably,
mean,
which is
it was
not a
going in
bad
no matter
choice.
what, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a bad choice. Some keepers would have just let that play out and see what happens. But he actually dived out. But unfortunately, the punch that he did wasn't good enough to deflect it at all, which kind of did like a little slight deflection and then went straight to Bamba.
Which
So
was, it was a thing of beauty, but then the half kind of came to a screeching halt, and I don't want to sound
yeah,
unappreciative, because this team is so fun to watch, but like they kind of have looked this season very uninspired, and then moments of like attack, almost like some sort of like a lion that's just laying around lazy as shit until the moment it needs to be like a gazillion
Yep.
miles an hour to ferociously attack, right? So it's hard to say that they didn't look good because they did look good and they scored 3 goals, but they kind of didn't look as good as I've been hoping they would look this season. I don't know. How do
Oh,
you feel
oh, you kind
about
of,
the play
you
on the
kind
field?
of. So the first half was good. The Fire were pressuring. They're trying to make, they're trying to score goals. They scored a goal. And of course, when the second half starts, it's a kind of a slow start again, kind of like a deja vu to a Houston game.
Yeah,
Um,
you're right. You're
and
right.
and then and then to make matters worse, you had the red card come in.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna say this out loud. My God, I'm choking myself with my hood and my scarf. I can't get this figured out. I should be a voice only like DPG. Anyway, um, I went to the bathroom. I completely fucking missed the red card. I was in the bathroom and I came out and I swear to God, because I was hanging out with somebody and they weren't there when I got back. And so I'm just kind of like waiting. And when they announced the red, like, I'm glad they had to announce it because when it was like red card, I didn't know if I was supposed to cheer or not. But
Jeez.
that
So
play happened like right in front of you.
yes, I did see it. So basically, um, it was it was like a slight tug on the jersey, and of course, the Montreal Tiger played it off like he got hit by a bus. Like he did the whole collapsing. Um, and of course, Montreal players were surrounding the referee. One of them got a little too verbal. He got a yellow card out of it. The ref goes and does a VAR, checks it, and unfortunately, it's a red card. But one thing that was interesting about that, though, is that I went back to the highlights,
Yes, as did I.
and and one thing they pointed out was that he could have been possibly offside too, um, slightly offside, because if he was offside, then at that point there's no red card. It's voided
Yeah, it
out.
would have been null and void, right? But it,
And it
it
looked like he kind of looked like outside. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea for the Fire to contest and be like, "Hey, that guy was kind of, he looked outside for a moment." It
oh,
wouldn't be a
as
bad
far
idea.
as getting it vacated, definitely like try that. But what I will
Yeah,
say is this: maybe it's because I have the hindsight of winning 3-0, but having come home and looked back at it on Apple Plus, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm not too terribly upset that was called a penalty. I'm a little upset, and I have been one to be slightly critical of the cult of Jonathan Dean, but I hope this is a
well,
moment to remember. But I guess.
well,
Oh,
here's the thing though. When that happens, what screams out to me the most is like the Fire of old coming back. Like
well,
this
and
is like
it's
the perfect. This is like the perfect opportunity to Fire to squander the lead and either draw or tie, or don't draw or lose against Montreal.
well, you talk about the fire of old, which I'm sorry I almost interjected there. I I was thinking about this. Look at how the first game of the season was a lineup everybody thinks we're like married to for this season. And then look now at game 2. This lineup is a last season lineup. I mean, it's like for like position swaps on the people who aren't here, right? Salatros for Franco and Mozambique for anybody, right?
Yeah,
So like
anybody,
it's
anybody
like
back
for
then.
like swaps on like it was a 4-3-3, and I mean I felt a little bit more comfortable with that because you know how I feel about 3 in the back, but
But
yeah, but so Lud did not get the start.
no, he didn't.
Um,
I think he was he had. I think he got a slight injury because he was training by himself for the week, for some of at least for part of the week. But here's the thing that kind of struck out to me is that stuck out to me was the Fire down. I mean, the Fire up 1-0. They're a man down, right? If you were to if you were to tell me back in 2018 or 2019 or even 2020, I probably would have told you you're probably going to lose this game or draw it. You know, but something interesting happened for whatever reason, and I think it was probably because the Fire were pissed off. I don't know. The Fire played a lot better attacking football than being a man down.
Well,
Like,
I mean, for the first time in the entire game, Montreal had some possession of the ball,
yes,
right? And
yes.
they couldn't they don't possess. They had nothing. They had nothing going forward. They had nothing going for them. They just didn't know what to do. And
The best shot
honestly,
they had was a long range shot that
yeah,
Chris
it
Brady
just
caught.
and Brady has not, in my opinion, been tested yet this season, which I wish he would be. But I mean, I guess that's a good thing. But
Yeah.
Jonathan Dean's dumb red card led to Montreal having more possession, which I guess in hindsight, it's all great practice. This was a phenomenal practice game, right?
Yeah,
But
but I think that also opened the floodgates for the Fire because I think that's what the Fire were waiting for is for Montreal to get more of the possession and then attack them as soon as they lose the ball in the attack or in the midfield, and that's exactly what happened
yeah,
because
well,
that's what
and
the
yeah.
Fire kept going at it. Like even the commentators were saying the Fire are playing better attacking football, being a man down.
Oh well, because they just obviously were. That's just how poorly constructed this Montreal team is, and I say that like I have some sort of authority. I've literally never heard
You
of
know
any
what?
of their
For the
players.
Montreal fans, coming from a Fire fan, we all been in that situation.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
It's
it happens to the best of us.
we have it happens. It could happen to anybody, but as a Fire fan that you know that's been following the team for over a decade, and I can tell you this right now, it's I hope for the sake of this club team that you guys get new ownership. I'm not saying it's going to solve all your issues, but at this point, you kind of need to have someone that has a different idea of what to do with this club. Because what I saw on Saturday, it could literally constitute like a second division team, like a USL team. Because there was no attacking ideas. You got a bunch of guys passing the ball around, but there's no idea what to do with it. And the fact that you guys only had one shot on goal should kind of tell you a lot against a team that was a man down. That should be like telling of like where this club is going to be heading at throughout the year. So for your sake, I do hope that you guys, get a new owner, get someone that knows what they're doing, and kind of lift this club because,
Dude, they
you
need
guys have
a
history.
welcome. They need a welcome to Wrexham thing, but like what's another tier down celebrity that we could do like a welcome to Wrexham thing with Montreal of the Foot? Um,
Oh,
like
you mean
Timothy
like some random?
Chalamet. Hold on, Timothy
So,
Chalamet. And
you might as
who
well
we
just
gonna
say
get
you might
him?
as well say Andrew Garfield too while you're at it.
Yeah, hell
You
yeah!
know,
I am a big Andrew Garfield supporter.
so
I That's my Spider-Man. Anyway.
but again, we went through that. We went through that as a Fire fan. Like Toke could tell you, we have gone through that. Um,
Yeah,
and I know
it
you guys are
sucks
going
being the
through that.
team that everybody gets right on, right? Like we just used Montreal to get our season from being off the rails, right? We
And
we
then
got right on Montreal, and that's what we used to be for the rest of the league for such a long time. Now, before we've started talking more large concepts, right? So before we do the last kind of I mean, okay. So you were talking about us pushing, which immediately led to not immediately, but which led to Cuypers getting a PK. Now, Cuypers
yes.
has been the best
So
player this season, in my opinion. He has pressed like crazy. His shots have been great shots. He just hasn't drained his, and it's only a second game, but like I think he's playing
yeah.
out of his mind.
Well, he's everywhere. And the thing about it too was that penalty, again, it was a bad giveaway from the Montreal defense, which got pressured, and gave, who was it that toe poked it out the way? It might have been Zinc. He toe poked it out of the defender from Montreal, which kind of let Cuypers just run at it. And of course, the goalkeeper, being the last man on the line, rushed out trying to like smother him, but the only thing he smothered was his leg, which caused a PK.
Well, and that was
So
like the 92nd minute too, because they were like 12 minutes or however many minutes of added
yeah, it was
time,
like 12. It was like
and then
12
we was like,
minutes.
dope, we'll score.
Either we will
So
score or we're gonna get scored on.
and
But
now, well, hold on, I apologize. One more thing about that, real quick. So I want to mention this out loud because it's a thing that we talked about last season and not a lot of people did. Remember, 9 times out of 10, Gutierrez would take the PKs. Notice how
yes.
Cuypers grabbed the ball immediately and took the PK and drained it this time. So hopefully, as a guy who would like to see his striker continue to gain confidence in every aspect, like give me tap-ins, give me PKs, man.
Yep. And Kuipers didn't overthink it. He went straight down the middle. It went in. Boom. We're up 2-0. And it's like the 90th something minute. At that point, I lost count of. I was on my way out after I saw that PK.
You want
I'm
to
not
know
being
what's
honest.
hilarious? I I actually, for the first time ever, because some listener Alex reminded me about the season ticket like hangout spot. So I went in there to get warm real quick, and then the foul happened, and I ran back out to like where DJ Step is to watch the PK. And then I was like, oh my god. So I just was missing crap all over the place. But
Yeah, I mean, I
um
was in the same situation I was. So like in the
right.
under like the 80th something minute, I went inside into the club section, the United club section, and I'm there sitting with my son watching the game. The PK happens, and I grab my stuff. I'm like, let's go outside and see this. We're gonna see it live. I'm not gonna wait. Like I'm not gonna sit there on a 5 second delay.
Yeah, no,
So
of course not.
so
And then
I ran outside and I saw the PK. I saw the PK being made, and yeah, I'm like at that point I was like, no, let's go to the car. Just that's all she wrote for this game.
you know what? You know what, young child? Let's beat the rush.
Yeah, let's beat the rush. Let's get home early today.
Oh man, I've said, okay. Wait, I want to make this point, but right before I do, I am legally obligated to mention the third goal, which was another rebound special, like the Bamba thing, except for this was blasted off of the crossbar, and
Yep.
Robert, what what the
Robin
mess
Lod,
is this
Robin Lod,
guy's
bro.
name? Something
Robin
Lud.
Lod. I don't know Lod. Yeah, Robin Lod. So I looked at the highlights for that. So it looked like Kuipers was trying to make a shot. It deflected off the defender. Took a weird bounce off the crossbar. Like it almost looked like it might have gone in.
It could have
And
been.
bounced
Well,
out.
wait, it was a
You know,
Kuiper shot and not a Barroso? I can't remember now.
it was a Kuiper shot. It was a
Okay,
so
that's
Barroso
my
actually
bad.
he shot it, and it was blocked by the goalkeeper. Like he did a diving save. But after that, Kuipers again took a shot. It deflected off the defender, went over the goalkeeper, and it ricocheted off the crossbar. And I think when it dropped down, it might have actually passed the line. Because like if you see the highlights, you can see Barroso already celebrating.
Oh,
So it
so he thought
passes.
it was a goal. Okay.
Yeah, he thought it was a goal. It bounces off the ground, and Lud is just there to finish it off on an open net. Like he just tapped it in. He stuck out his foot. The defender was right next to him. He stuck out his foot and it went in. Boom, made it 3-0.
Hey, listen, any
Um,
way you can get him, man. Any way you can get him.
anyway, I've seen goals scored the weirdest way possible. So yeah.
So,
Anyway,
so as a father of a young child, as a man who tried to get up out of there as soon as he could, I have said it once before and I've said it again. How do you feel about this? I want the Fire to be the Chicago Cubs of Major League Soccer. I want us to have like all day games except for like 3 night games and the
well,
playoffs.
here's the thing though, is that again, this schedule is based on what Apple wanted. Apple, I think, had a big input on how the schedule was going to be played out.
Well, of
Um,
course they did.
and this was our only 1:30 game right now.
Yeah.
Because in 2 weeks we're going to be playing that 7:30 at night game in March. So for
Lousy
those of you
March
guys
weather.
making that trek, yeah, for those of you guys making that trek, let's hope that the weather's a little bit better. If it's still going to be crappy, get yourself some hand warmers. Go to Walmart; they sell them for $1. Get yourself some long johns, warm shoes, jacket, and let's ride this thing out. Here's one thing. I forgot to mention one thing. One interesting aspect of the trip on Saturday was so when we got to the stadium and I got my jersey and everything, we were walking towards the concession. Uh, we went to the concession, and I'm not going to name which one because, of course, I don't want to get anybody in trouble. So we go to one of the concessions, and cool thing was, so I ordered a hot dog and a drink, um, and this is mostly for my kid, and then I was trying to use my discount, and supposedly
Oh.
there's supposed to be a barcode. There's no barcode. I can't. Every time I tapped on member discount, it took me to some weird site that said to
Really? Because I
customize.
got mine. I used
Yeah,
mine to get a pretzel.
my discount didn't pop up. Like it was weird. I don't know if I
That's
have to
fucking
update it.
bullshit, dude. We
Well, hold on,
that-
hold on, hold on, hold on. It's not the end of the story. Hold on. I know what you're saying. So I'm like fumbling with my phone. I'm trying to get my member discount going. Um, and the thing about it is, so as I'm fumbling, I see the guy just, the person who was taking care of me, just grab a box of popcorn, put it next to my stuff, and he's like, "Don't worry about it." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Let me figure this out." And I'm fumbling. Next thing you know, he goes to the back or he goes somewhere and he gets one of the snack packs. He slides it next to the popcorn and he's like, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah, just
And
get the
I'm
hell out of
like,
here, dog.
you know, and I'm I'm like, okay, like I don't know what he meant. I don't know if he was gonna tell me that he'll just manually put the discount in there, and then he
No, he
tells
was
me, you know
giving you
what?
free
Don't
stuff,
worry about it.
man.
He's like, don't worry about it. Just get me next time. Here you go. I'm like, you sure? He's like, yep. Don't worry about it. And I walked away with a hot dog, a drink, a box of popcorn, and a snack pack for $0.
Damn, all of that for $0. God, well,
Yes.
hopefully my barcode stops working then.
And there was nobody there. It was empty. Like, in fact, I might have to call my season ticket rep and see what's going on. Because every time I tapped on member discount on the app, it takes me to something that says power up your app, customize your app experience to fit your unique preferences, whatever that meant. Um, and I thought maybe I had to update it, and I don't have to update it. It says it's no updates. So yeah, so I saved myself $20. And if you add all the other stuff, probably closer to 40. So
I
that was
dude,
pretty cool.
that's pretty awesome actually. Did you consume everything?
Yes, I did. Well, actually, my son, obviously, he got the snack pack.
Right.
He actually ate most of it. He ate the snack pack, the hot dog. I ended up getting tacos. I went upstairs and just got some tacos. Because at
Okay,
that point, I'm like,
okay.
well, hey, yeah, okay, okay. I guess I'll treat myself. Which the tacos are not bad, but nothing to write home about either. Um, but yeah, it was a good experience.
That's the whole concession thing. Like it's whatever.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, and then that's the thing. Is like, um, it. I don't want to get, like I said, I didn't want to get anybody in trouble, but at that point, he was kind of telling me like, "You're good, man. Just go."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
and I'm like,
take
well,
the hint, dog. Anyway.
yeah, because I'm over here fumbling with the app. Nobody's behind me, so it's not like someone's
No,
like waiting. I'm like,
He literally did not want to have to deal with you. Just please, sir, take my bribe and get away from me.
Yeah, and it wasn't like he was angry or anything. He was actually pretty cool. Like he said hello to
No,
my
it's
son and everything. Like, really nice guy.
most of those concession people are actually pretty dope. They're pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I don't think I've had a bad experience with any of the concession people at Soldier Field.
No, me neither.
Most yeah. So they're pretty cool. I always see them say hi to little kids, and it's always cool. So it's always a good experience. And I do hope that the new stadium, kind of keeps up that vibe. Maybe not the
Oh
same
my
type of
god, the
food,
first
but
season
at
they'll
least
be
the same
like
type of
wearing white
personnel.
gloves and stuff. It'll be crazy in the first season. Okay, well
Yeah,
hold on. DPG, we can lament the concessions all night, but what we need to do
yeah.
real quick, because we have other things we want to talk about. We have the rest of the wacky world of soccer to talk about here after the break. But before we go to break, the next Chicago Fire game is against the Columbus Crew, the yellow fucking team. Now, how do we feel about this coming up game? How do you feel about going to Colorado? How do you feel about this Fire team? Are we
Going
going
to
to see the three in
Colorado.
the... Huh?
Why are we going to Colorado?
Not Colorado, Columbus. Did I say Colorado?
Columbus. Yeah, you did. I was
Son
like,
of a
what?
bitch. Well, I said the yellow fucking team, man. Come on, Columbus.
There you go. So, I mean, Columbus hasn't had a good start.
Not yet.
Not yet. I
Not
mean,
yet.
I don't want the Fire to be the spark that starts the whole situation, but like, it's not like what's the guy's name is coaching them again.
Not yet.
Um,
I mean, he still didn't take it. Wilford Nancy still doesn't have a job, which we could. The podcast did not come back in time. Wilford Nancy left Columbus, went to not Rangers, Celtic, got booted out of Celtic before the podcast could even talk about it, which was wild.
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's I. So I don't know what's gonna happen with this Columbus team. Like,
I
I
know
think they drew.
it's hard to predict because Diego Rossi was playing really well, but Columbus as a whole, like what did they tied 2-2 against Kansas City, and you'd probably imagine Kansas City is not going to be that good this year.
No, and for the most part, there were actually so Columbus was originally beating Kansas City, and then Kansas City came back with a 2-1,
Oh,
score
I
line,
missed
and then
that.
of course, and then Rossi scores in the 82nd minute, and that's all she wrote. But again, I mean, it's I don't know. I don't know what to make out of this Columbus team. I don't know if they're still getting their bearings together. What a life after Nancy, but I guess we're gonna have to wait and see.
This game really feels like a draw, but before I call it a draw, I want to ask one direct question of you, and then we'll have to take a break here. Do
Yep.
we see the three in the back style that everybody thought we were going to play this year with like Waterman and Mozambique, which I hope I'm saying that name right, and like and Elliott with like Lud on the field as well as Salatros and stuff? Or are we going to see like the 4-3-3 that we pulled out this past weekend?
You might be. I think I have a feeling that Greg's going to stick with what we had with this weekend.
Okay. I hope
And
you're right.
granted, if Andrew Gutman's back, then we don't have to worry about the left side. At that point, we can play, Gutman, Barroso on each side, and of course,
That's a big if. Is Andrew Gutman back? Now, oh fuck, we got rid of Omari. I was like, we could play Omari Glasgow, but we can't. Who the hell are we gonna play on the left? I mean, the Dean's now red carded.
it's going to be some experimentation. I think it's going to have to be experimentation on that side.
You're right. You're gonna have to. We're stupid. You know who it's gonna be? It's gonna be Marin Holly Selassie, who has
Yep.
already played way more this season than I thought he would.
Yeah, he's in the lineup more. Last year he was coming off the bench more.
Well,
So
I mean, Bamba missed the first game, so it was him or Mullen or Mueller. God, I always screw that guy's name up. Which, by the way, Chris Mueller.
Waller.
Yeah, Chris Mueller, very, very good to have you back on the team. We're happy for you. Anyway, DPG, we have gone so incredibly over on this segment.
Yep.
2-2. It's going to be a goal fest. It's going to be a little ugly. But it is going to give us some hope. That's what I'm calling. What are you calling?
I can
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I can see the Fighters squeaking out a 2-1 victory.
Oh my God, that would make me so wet. All right. We have been the Enemies of the Fire podcast. We're going to come back in this next segment and talk about all the other soccer stuff. All right. We love you. Subscribe. Peace. Yeah! Oh! Hey! Welcome back, fellow Enemies of the Fire. I am FC Neo Tokyo. That is DPG, and Serena sends her love, and also anybody else who has been missing James. James is on the supplemental roster this year, so he will not be here for every show, and it will be a massive surprise whenever the hell he is. Anyway, I'm sorry. So we dissected the bejesus out of our enjoyable Saturday, the first win of the season for the Fire. Now it's time to talk about all the other stuff that gets us revved up and rocking in the world of soccer. DPG, I got to tell you, because you said you didn't watch this. The first week of the season, Miami gets stomped by LAFC. This week,
Yep.
this is Sunday, so they're playing the game before we record. I'm watching the game. Miami getting stomped 2-0 in the first half. Fast forward, Miami won 4-2 with with Orlando getting a red card, because I was worried about this. Now, first and foremost, before we talk about Orlando, is Miami worse than they were last year? Are they just finding their footing, or is this the great Miami drop off? What do you think of Miami so far in this very short MLS season?
Based on what I've kind of been seeing the score, I mean, again, I'm looking at stats. They're still kind of getting their footing.
I think you're right.
But again, let's be honest. Orlando is not like any world beater either. So Orlando is kind of going through transitional period too. So
right. Well,
I mean,
that's funny that you said that. I was saying we weren't going to bring up Orlando yet, but let's jump into that, because the rumor mill is Antoine Griezmann going to Orlando. Now, by the way, I agree with you. Miami is just finding their footing. They're going to be good this year. But Antoine Griezmann, that makes me very jealous. I would love an Antoine Griezmann on our roster with all of the people that we already have. And I've wanted an Antoine Griezmann for a long time. What do you think about this?
So, I mean, again, they go. So this kind of brings me to like that whole Kaká situation. Not a lot of magic happened. Like, yeah, Kaká was here for a little bit, but that was it. Like, I don't think Antoine Griezmann can change this club. I think this club has a lot of issues they got to work on. I mean, didn't they just lose one of what's the guy's name? I know we were making fun of him last year. The defender, the one that plays for U.S. men, the guy that plays for the U.S. men's national team.
Oh no, the guy that they sold. Not a bomb. No, that was Charlotte. Who are you talking about? Oh, Alex Freeman.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah. So It's funny you bring that up because my whole thought on this, on Orlando with Antoine Griezmann, is like Orlando with Kaká. They aren't good enough to really make the playoffs and make a splash, but that's what makes the East so goddamn hard. Our teams like Orlando will get Antoine Griezmann, and that'll determine the playoffs because whoever they steal a win from, you know what I mean? Like, that's the people who don't make it. So it just makes the East so much harder. Let's give them to us. Let's let the rich get richer, please. Anyway, I don't know. Speaking of, oh my God, speaking of the East getting harder. Okay, are you ready for this one? I didn't even think about how this is turning out to be like transfer news time. Josh Sargent going to Toronto. The Georgi Mihailovic Josh Sargent connection is here, ladies and gentlemen.
So I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna be. Is this kind of like a whole Michael Bradley situation again?
You were so mad that Michael Bradley came back to MLS.
I am. He could have continued his career in Europe, but it's not like Michael Bradley was playing in Roma. Josh Sargent was playing. And what's the team he's at now? Like a
He was at
championship team.
Norwich. He was at Norwich, but like
Yeah. So
but like don't get it twisted. The championship is rated as the 6th best team or league in the world, right behind the Big Five.
yeah. I'm not saying there's nothing bad against that, but I mean, it's apple and oranges. Roma, Norwich. Just saying. I don't know.
I mean, it is a little. I don't know, man. He played in the Premier League. Now he didn't play well, but I just you. Here's where the line is, right? Josh Sargent. I don't think we can tell people what is going to make their career better and make them happy. Josh Sargent's going to make a fuck ton of money in Toronto, and Josh Sargent's going to look like a world beater, scoring goal after goal here in MLS, dude. Josh Sargent's going to tear this league apart. Like 20 goals a season, Josh Sargent. I'm serious. As long as his knees and legs don't disintegrate.
You're hyping him up. You're hyping it up, man. I don't think so.
He is above, like he was a really, really good striker in the championship, which means he is going to be a really, really good striker in MLS. Like, MLS is only slightly not as good as the championship, in my opinion. It's not as good. It's not. But just not like it's not night and day, right? But I don't know. I think Josh Sargent is primed to score a bunch of goals. And like honestly, like look at Kellyn Acosta. Is that what you really want for people? You want Kellyn Acosta to play in Poland at this age, to just be in Europe? Or would you rather him be somewhere and be happy? Like, would you rather him be on the bench in LA?
So here's the thing about, didn't Kellyn Acosta got red carded recently on his new team?
I have no idea. I literally have no idea. I haven't kept up.
Yeah, so
you're just dodging the question. Like, you keep saying you want people to stay in Europe forever, but like is this good for Kellyn Acosta to play in Poland right now, or would it be better if he were in MLS?
I mean, he probably could have come off the bench for some team in MLS, but I don't think MLS teams will be paying a high price tag for a guy that's coming off the bench.
No, of course not. But that's not that's not the question. The question is, the way that everybody talks is you have to hang on to Europe as like with the just tooth and nail. And okay, so Kellyn Acosta believed that. So he went at any age, and he went at this age, and he went to Poland. Which again, no offense, Poland. I'm sure it's beautiful. Actually, I wouldn't mind visiting. I guess I kind of feel like I already have living in Chicago, but that's besides the point. Anyway, DPG, what do you want for Kellyn Acosta's life? Do you want him in Poland at 30? Let's pretend he's 33. Do you want him in Poland at 33, or you want him coming off the bench in LA selling men's candles?
um, he might just. I think he might be better off selling men's candles. Unfortunately,
Yes, come to
it,
LA,
it
date
just
a supermodel and sell candles.
it's just hard to believe that how kind of a fall from grace situation Kellyn Acosta is going through because at one point this guy was a starting member of the U.S. men's national team. You know, like I mean, I wouldn't say for maybe well, I don't know for some World Cup qualifiers, but mostly Gold Cup tournaments.
I mean, he
So
was in the
and
conversation. Like, don't forget about the lost generation that did not qualify for 2018.
there wasn't much of a lost generation because Bruce Arena kept playing the same guys he played in 2002.
Well, fair. Yo, what do you think? Hold on, hold on. Like I said, this is Sunday, so St. Louis is playing San Diego, which it hurts my heart that San Diego's good. I don't know why. I just take that personally. But what do you think of these Tina Turner jerseys? They look a lot better on people than they did online.
I haven't got a chance to look at the Tina Turner jerseys.
Oh, you have to. St. Louis's like new home kit is this like gold Tina Turner thing. It's it's I it looked horrible in concept, and then now that it's on players, it's like, oh, that looks cool. Anyway, I didn't mean to get us too far off the topic. Just I would rather see people happy. I want Kellyn Acosta coming off I want the salary cap gone so that the Galaxy can have Kellyn Acosta as their ninth option in the midfield coming off the bench instead of that man going to Poland to try and make people like you fucking happy. Anyway, all right. Speaking of the LA Galaxy, dude, why does this only happen to them? And I was very upset about the whole Gio Dos Santos thing when that happened. But like day one of the season comes and LA's like, shit, we have to cut someone, and they cut Christian Ramirez. Like, what is this absolute mismanagement, DPG? Do you understand what they did and why and how and who's it?
How much? How much of their salary cap was Christian Ramirez taking up?
I mean, a hefty enough spot, I guess. Now, not hefty enough that Austin didn't go after him, so he signs with Austin, okay? And so this is all like ticker tape news. Like I didn't watch this, but apparently he's already scored today for Austin, which is crazy. DPG, would you have wanted Christian Ramirez as a second striker for the Chicago Fire?
It would have been nice, but I don't know if the salary cap can make that happen.
We have room,
And
baby.
speaking of LA, did it? When the hell did LA sign Klaus? Klaus.
This offseason, dude, he left St. Louis and LA signed him. And he scored instantly in their first game of the season.
Yeah, well, yeah, because St. Louis is kind of on a downturn right now.
Dude,
right?
St. Louis is you know what? You know what? It sounds like St. Louis is on the downswing, but I'll tell you what, I watched the game last weekend and they didn't win, but they were a lot better than I thought they were going to be. And San Diego is unfortunately like legit. So I don't think losing tonight would be anything to be disappointed in if you're St. Louis. So I think St. Louis is going to be okay. My biggest problem with St. Louis is that the Fire don't have a St. Louis game this year. Me and my buddy, who I got to see on Friday, by the way, because he was here for that WWE thing at United Center. But anyway, I digress. So I don't know, man. This shit only happens to LA, and Christian Ramirez would have really helped the Fire. That's my whole everything about that. I don't know. Do you have anything of substance to say about that? I don't think I do.
I don't have anything. You know me, man. I don't care what other teams do.
I don't care what other teams do, he says. All right, well,
Unless they're playing the Fire, the first thing I do is check how many yellow cards so and so has, and who's not playing. That's it.
yeah, your tunnel vision is actually something to be admired, I think. Last bit of news. Dani Rojas from Ted Lasso is actually signing a contract with El Paso Locomotive. And I don't know what league they're in. I'm guessing USL, which I don't know if the USL actually has a players agreement in place yet. I think this was supposed to be the opening weekend. I'm saying all these things off the top of my head that I'm slightly interested in, but I have no effing clue what's actually happening. I guess maybe I should just keep my mouth shut. I don't know.
I don't.
But DPG, what have you heard anything about this, Mister? I only care about the
I,
fire.
I I know who it is. I know who it is. I have not heard anything about it.
No, I mean
No,
the USL players agreement thing, the collective bargaining.
no.
Because let's see, USL Championship. Let's see if they started playing today. No, okay. So
Well,
it
they're
looks like
striking.
next. Are they striking?
Uh, the USLPA outright strike with season kickoff looming.
Oh, baby. Okay. So the next games that I see scheduled, I see Friday, March 6th. I see Lexington and Louisville City. And then the next day, Charleston Battery and Pittsburgh Riverhounds. It's all about PBR, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, baby. Anyway, sorry. I don't know. I don't know what came over me. My bad.
PBR.
Oh God. Yeah, Pabst Blue Ribbon, baby.
Yeah, I know what it is. I actually stayed at that hotel. It's in Milwaukee. The old Patch Blue Ribbon brewery.
Really, I did not know that
That's
was
it.
a thing.
Yeah, they converted it into a hotel, and you can still see the old bats. Where they brew the beer.
Cool. I actually had no idea. So if anybody is a Ted Lasso fan and is a lawyer who can get this agreement together for the players, you can see Dani Rojas play Saturday, March 7th against the Colorado
Unless it gets
Spring.
rescheduled.
Yeah, just maybe
Unless it
wait.
gets because they're on strike.
Yeah, this sucks. I think this sucks. I don't think we're talking about it yet, and I think it'll become big news if it continues, and it'll just suck. And I don't know. I don't know why we're not lifting all boats, man. I think everybody knows how we both feel. I mean, I want a strong USL. I want a strong lower division.
What you're asking for is pro and rel relegation.
I mean, if I'm being for real, and it's almost like, it's like when you're in a job interview, don't tell them you'll take less money. But like here I am, I don't even necessarily have to have pro rel. I just want things strong. I want people in Pittsburgh to be super jacked about the Riverhounds and like just as jacked as we are about the Fire. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I don't know.
I know I agree with you, but it's like unfortunately, some of these markets. I mean, there's only certain markets in USL that actually make like that might have a big exposure. Like I know New Mexico and Arizona are two markets that thrive in USL. I mean, I can't say the same about some random team out in the South. You know,
Well, some
like I could
random
see them
team.
having leverage. I could see them having leverage. Uh, but like El Paso Locomotive, do you think they have the same leverage as New Mexico United and that Arizona team?
I don't know. El Paso had a really strong following for when the MLS Next Pro Club was there. When they had
Yeah.
or no, was that El Paso? No, it was oh shit, what did they went by Rio Grande, didn't they?
Yeah, there
Oh
was like
man,
some
now I don't
yeah.
remember. Kellyn Carr did some video about it. Don't just go watch that. We don't know what we're talking about. DPG.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than the Fire winning in Columbus, what are you looking forward to this week as far as soccer? Anything? Or is there any other sport related anything you're looking forward to?
Not at the moment, man. You know, it's still spring training for the Cubs, so not at the moment.
Dude, my oh my god. I wake up July 1st and I look at the standings, and if the Cubs are in it, then I pay attention for the rest of the year. If not, see you next July 1st.
Oh man,
Sorry,
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
yeah, I don't really have the energy in me. Now I will say, obviously the World Series year, it was obvious they were going to be good, so we paid attention. But oh boy, okay, so we're talking about the Cubs World Series, so I think it's time that we have come to the end of the episode. DPG, do you have anything to say to the people before I start rambling on? Excellent. Phenomenal. Okay, so with those words of wisdom by DPG, I will say this. Please subscribe. We are on our way to 500 subscribers. We're still not there. Subscribe. See me at the next game with the blue hair. I'm going to have stickers. The Twitter account is run by a crazy person. The Instagram account we're locked out of, but that's run by Serena. When and if she'll get locked back in there. DPG is not on the internet unless you're in the Discord for the Chicago Fire. Then in such case, annoy the ever-loving shit out of him. Like, subscribe, and comment.
No.
Shout out to Alex. It was great hanging out with you at the game. Mario, I can't believe I saw you. All the people whose name I always butcher. Everybody, like and subscribe.
Yep, like and subscribe. What does James say? You grab it, you kick it, and you subscribe to it, or something like that.
Tenderly, gently caress the like button. Move in close. Tell it that you love it. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. We are out of here. Peace.
Yeah. It's been a long week.
Yeah!